Please welcome Dr. Carlon Colker. Welcome to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. First of all, what do we understand about SARS at this point?
Well, severe acute respiratory syndrome, as you said, it is an infectious disease. We don't know exactly what it is. Is it a bacteria? Is it a virus? We believe right now that it is a virus and not a bacteria.
It's not responding to any antibiotics.
Because that's hard, yeah.
That's exactly right. It is too bad because certainly bacteria, as we know, does respond to traditional antibiotics. And so many hospitals are actually combining antibiotic therapy with antiviral therapy.
And oxygen therapy, I understand, right?
Yeah. Well, it actually is a triad. Increased temperature, usually in excess of 100.4 degrees or 38 degrees Celsius, combined with a dry cough and shortness of breath. The problem is that a lot of people have this.
I've seen it all. I was talking about the show this morning. Everybody who came on, Meredith is saying my son has a cough and this one and that one.
Yeah.
So, and it does sound also like the flu.
It certainly does, and actually it can be combined. This triad can be combined with other symptoms like muscle aches and fatigue.
So you might assume it's flu in the beginning.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right now, over 1,800 cases have been identified worldwide. The deaths are about 67, but the latest figures are actually 80 as of this morning. If you look at yesterday compared to this the day before, that's 182 new cases in 24 hours with 4 new deaths.
How many in the U.S.?
Well, in the U.S. there's been 69 cases that we know of in the U.S.
But that increase yesterday,
as of yesterday. Well, that was only as of yesterday, and that's why it does appear to be marching forward.
But I'm saying that jump yesterday, was that people in Asia? Was that people here?
Worldwide. That jump was worldwide.
Because they're now being reported. Because we're looking out for it. I know a lot of people are wondering, what causes it?
Yeah. That's a great point, actually, that it is just being reported, and we believe that it might have existed since back in November of last year, as early as November of last year. And the first case that we kind of nailed down that we believe that was actually a case of SARS was in February this is 2 weeks and 3 days to be exact, since the World Health Organization came forward with the global alert.
Now, it is contagious, and it's happened mostly with people who have been with people from Asia or now, one of the things that's very worrisome is planes that are coming back. People, now, there was a report that it was on a plane, and then it turned out that it was a false report. So if you fear that you might have this, tell us again the symptoms and what do you do?
Again, high temperature in excess of 100.4 degrees, a dry cough, and shortness of breath.
And should you go to the hospital immediately?
Well, you should see your doctor with those symptoms anyway, and I think that's a good starting point. There are some other signals. A bad chest x-ray, a certain signal on the chest x-ray does suggest that perhaps this is SARS.
Meaning fluid in the lungs?
Fluid in both sides of the lungs. It's very diffuse. It's spread over both sides of the lungs.
But just so people don't panic, there are hundreds of thousands of people who get the flu.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I mean, influenza kills many more people than this.
Absolutely. There are two reasons not to panic. Number one, that again, influenza does kill people, just regular influenza.
Mostly
people die of the flu.
older people.
That's correct.
But what's interesting about this one is you're seeing young, healthy people, like in their 40s, dying, ones you would not expect.
That's why it's a concern. That's why we have to figure out what it is, and we have to figure out how to treat it, because people do seem to die from this.
So should we wear masks or something?
Well, we shouldn't wear masks, but we should be very attentive, very aware of our physical condition. If we deteriorate unexpectedly from what we think is a cold, certainly we should seek medical help immediately.
Words of wisdom, and don't panic.
Don't panic. We have enough panic right now.
And don't cough on me.
And people are recovering. That's
Our thanks to Dr. Carlon Colker. Thank you very much.